Hi friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters. I'm the maker behind Mountain Song Designs, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to share with you a new design that just came out, and I'm going to talk to you about something else I'm working on, plus how I dealt with WIPs. So let's get started. Okay guys, check this out. This is my Bagel Man Market Bag. It just came out a few days ago, beginning of the weekend, and it is on sale now. It's on Etsy and Ravelry, but look at this bag. It's perfect for taking to the farmer's market or your local yarn store or wherever you're headed for the weekend for your shopping. This is a great bag. If you are watching this right now, it is, right after I publish it, it is still on sale. So check out my Instagram. I'm Mountain Song Designs on there, and you'll find information you need. Also Substack, Mountain Song Designs. If you're watching this after May 11th, 2023, it may go on sale another time. So follow me so that you can find those things. But let me talk about this bag. So I love knitting in the round, stockinette, worsted weight. It's so easy and quick. And in the summer, I love doing it too, but usually that's a sweater, and I don't want a giant sweater sitting on my lap for months. So one of the ways that I get around that is by knitting a bag. Now, I love eyelets, and this has this, but it's more of a decoration. It's not a whole bag of eyelets. A lot of times you'll see market bags like that, and they're adorable, and I love them, but I just wanted a little extra on this bag. Now, when I'm knitting, I will seam if I have to. I'll do fussy things if I have to, but if I can avoid it, you better believe I will. So on this bag, I avoided as much fussy stuff as I possibly could. The base, which is lovely here, it's nice and sturdy. It's knit flat, and then you pick up stitches around the edges, and then you knit in the round. And then you knit all the way up till you get to the strap. Then of course that is knit flat across, and it is seamed at the very end with a Kitchener. That's all the sewing you have to do in this, but it has really cool reinforced corners. Now I've figured out how to get that done too. A little bit of trial and error, but that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. So it's okay. That's part of the process that I really enjoy. I think that something will work, and so I try it, and then usually it does, but if it doesn't, I figure out a new way, and that's fun. So reinforced corners, nice sturdy base. The strap is not going to stretch out on you. It's a really cool bag, and I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you do too if you choose to make this. It was really fun, and I hope that you check it out and see if maybe it's a bag that you would want to knit too. So on Etsy, I am MTN Song Designs, and Ravelry, it's Jocelyn Peters Designs. So that is the Bagel Man Market Bag. Let's move on to the next thing. Last time I shared with you 3 WIPs that I got out. I pulled them out of WIP purgatory, and I brought them out so that I could work on them. I have 2 lace shawls and 1 garter blanket. Now, I remembered the last 2 weeks why I put those away. The garter blanket, while it is simply just garter for the most part, it's 2 yarns held double, really big needles, and it's heavy. So I have to pay attention when I'm knitting on it, which is fine. I enjoy doing it, but I'm remembering why I put it away. When I'm knitting garter or, stocking it in the round, I love being able to watch shows and not really pay attention to what I'm doing. But this one I have to pay more attention to, and I did get a few rows on there. I think I got 5 rows, and that's fine. I don't have to get it done right now, but I will keep plugging away at it. Since I only got a few rows, I didn't bring it to share with you. If you would like to see this one and one of the other shawls I'm about to talk about, check out episode 5 5 whips and waypoints was my last episode, and I get into those a little more. The other shawl that I'm not going to show right now is a Shetland lace shawl. I have it out. I haven't gotten it back out because it's daunting, but I will get there and I will do it. But what I have been working on, I will share with you. It's another lace shawl called Naomh, which is an Irish name. But see, it's a lovely lace, beads, lots of beads, lots of beads. Sorry if you heard those needles. I realized too the other day that I got glow in the dark beads. So I haven't checked it out in the dark yet. I keep forgetting, but I'm really enjoying having this back out. I enjoy lace. I enjoy it. Now it takes time and attention, and a little bit of organization to get the beads and get those on. But I've been enjoying it and I'm plugging away at it. I think I've got about 1 or 2 inches done the last few weeks. Now I have some other things that I've been working on. I'm not quite ready to share with you. I think the next time I will get to share socks that I've been working on. I think I'll be ready by then. So I have other things in the works that I've been focusing on a good bit, but that is my progress on the Naomh shawl. That is by Renee Leverington. It's a lovely shawl. I don't believe her patterns are available at this point, which is a shame because she has really lovely patterns. But that is what I'm working on. Let's move on to what I'm wearing. Okay, what I'm wearing is a shawl. Now, usually in this section, I share with you a whole pattern book. This one is an individual pattern that did not come from a book, but it is called Rebel. This is Rebel 2. You can get 1 or 2 in the same pattern by Lesley and Robinson. You see here, it's this really lovely brioche shawl. Let me take it off so you can see the whole thing. Here we go. Really pretty crescent shaped shawl. It's brioche and really squishy. It was so fun to knit because you can see there are these wide, long rows of just a plain brioche stitch, and then on the ends, on the edges, you would have your lace patterning, brioche lace patterning. And if you've never knit brioche, it's really fun. If you don't mind ribbing, that's essentially all it is. It's essentially a whole lot of ribbing that you have to pay a little bit more attention to. Now with the patterns here, with the lace patterns, there's a bit more to finagle, but I find it really just a really wonderful thing. By the time I'm done, I'm very proud of it, and I feel like I've really accomplished something, and it's a little more intricate than just ribbing, but I enjoy brioche. Now this yarn is Lolodidit Loriginal. The light color is Yeti Goes to a Galaxy Far, Far Away, and the darker color, I'll show you on this side, is May the 4th Be With You. And of course, we just celebrated May the 4th, Star Wars Day. So I felt like getting this out in honor of May the 4th. Now, why did I use Star Wars colors on this? Because Rebel refers to Princess Leia, our favorite rebel. And you can tell that these little, these things here, these designs here, they remind you of her hair and her iconic hairdo with the buns. So I really enjoyed making this, and I channeled Princess Leia while I was making it. It was a fun knit. So again, that's Rebel by Lesley Ann Robinson. She does a lot of brioche, really lovely, well-written patterns. So it's one to check out if you are considering brioche or love it as much as I do. So that is what I am knitting. I will move on to a book and a chat about whips. Here we go. Okay, the book that I want to share with you is Not one that you might expect, but it is something that helped me with my knitting. And I'm going to tell you how that happened in just a minute, but first let me show you. Here we go. Dave Ramsey, the Total Money Makeover. Now, I am not affiliated with Dave Ramsey. I am not a financial advisor in any way. I am just someone who enjoyed this book. I enjoy Dave Ramsey's philosophy on managing money, and I was able to use it in my knitting. So the point of this book is to share with people a plan for financial health. If you live in the world and you're an adult, you probably have to do stuff with money. You have to manage it, you have to use it well, wisely, all of those things. You have to be a good steward of your money. And sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't. And this book takes people through steps, he calls them the baby steps, on how to be successful, whether you are someone who is deeply in debt or someone who just wants to make sure you're on the right path. It's steps that you can jump into wherever you are on your path. And one of the things that I like about it is that it's an easy read. It's a pretty quick read, and it's anecdotal. And so with the stories about different families and how they their situations and how they use Dave's plan, it's very inspirational. So even if you aren't someone who is desperate for help, you might still enjoy this book and derive inspiration from it. Now, let me set that down. The way that I used it with my knitting. So the end of 2021, I was getting to a point where I was getting really overwhelmed by the idea of WIPs, works in progress. I had what seemed like an infinite number. I knew that they were kind of hidden around and I had stuffed them places, and I knew I had a lot, and I found it really stressful not having a plan for them. So on January 5th, 2022, I sat down and I typed up an entire list. Every WIP I could find. I looked all through my house. I scoured everything to find what I could. Now, of course, like 2 weeks ago, I still found another one that I had missed. But I did my very best, and I ended up with 24 works in progress. Now, 8 of those were blankets, most of which were only just begun. So some of these are huge projects that I didn't expect to finish immediately, and that's okay. I think if you have knit a blanket, you know it's probably going to take you some time, and you accept that. At least I do. I also had 3 sweaters. One of them is a very intricate cabled cardigan. So it's not done yet, but let me tell you how I went about figuring this out. I decided I would use Dave Ramsey's debt snowball to get through my WIPs. I felt like I was in debt. I felt the stress that you feel when you are in debt, that you owe somebody, and it can feel very overwhelming, and it might even feel like you're drowning. I felt like I was drowning in yarn, and no one wants that. It's supposed to be this fun hobby that you can just enjoy and derive satisfaction from, and having all of this hang over me was just too stressful. So the way that I did it, I used his debt snowball. And how that works is you make a list of all of your debts, and you decide which one you owe the least on. It doesn't matter interest rates or who it's to or what it is. The smallest dollar number is the one you pay off first. Of course, you keep paying off on all of your debts, but that smallest one, you really work really, really hard and you get it knocked out. And then when you finish it, the next month, you take all of that money and you just throw it like a snowball at the next one on the list, the next smallest one. So what I did, I made my list and I decided which one I thought would take the least amount of time. I think I started with a pair of fingerless mitts. All I had to do was create an afterthought thumb and weave in ends. So I did that, and in an afternoon I marked one off. And then I went to the next one. It was probably a pair of socks. I forget. I wrote it down, and let me tell you, it feels so good to check it off. I also included numbers so I remember what order I did it in. Now, I had other new cast-ons, other projects that I worked on through the year as well. So I didn't only do my works in progress, but my goal was always to have the next smallest, or time-wise, smallest WIP on the needles, getting through it. As soon as I finished it, I would tell everyone I possibly could I had finished that WIP, and it felt really wonderful. And when you do the shortest one first, you get through it really fast, and it feels like you're really making a lot of progress. Now, of course, once you get through the smaller ones, then it starts to take longer. However, when you have that momentum built from doing the smallest one first, you know how good it feels. And you know that if you just keep trucking, you're going to get through it, and you'll get to feel that again. And it feels really wonderful. Now, I will tell you, of my 8 blankets, I only finished one, but it's huge and it's done, and it felt so good to finish it. And I'm working on the WVU one, that my garter stitch one. That was the next one on the list, and I'm working on it now, and I will get it done, and then I'll move on to the next one, and that's fine. I got 2 of my sweaters done. The really intricate cabled one I did not finish. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to finish or frog it. I think I will finish it. I'm not very far into it, but I think I'll do it. It's beautiful. When something's beautiful, it's a lot easier to want to put the effort into it. So that's still on the list. My 2 lace shawls, the green one that I just showed you and the Shetland lace that I showed last time, those are on the list, but those are the only things that I haven't finished that I had on the needles in 2022, except for one that I just found. And I haven't decided if I'm going to make the second or frog it. I don't know. Sometimes it takes some thinking over that. Do you all think about it? Does it take you a while to decide if you want to keep going, or do you just make the decision, I'm not going to do it, and you move on? I don't know. I guess it depends on the project and how much. Do you have I get emotional with my things. Like, I associate them with times in my life, or, something, not always, but I think sometimes that makes it a little harder to give up a project even if I don't think I'll ever use it. Maybe that's something I can work on this year too. But that is how I dealt with my works in progress. It really worked for me. And if that's something that you struggle with, I suggest it as a way to try to help work out. Now, like with finances, works in progress, you just need a plan. You don't have to use my plan. Having any plan and then sticking to it really is the best way to accomplish anything. And that's why it actually feels good to have these 3 projects that I've mentioned today and last time back out. I feel like I'm back on my train of getting these done, and it really feels fulfilling and it makes me happy. So I hope that you find something that makes you happy and that you knit it. But that's it for me today. So thank you so much for joining me. If you want to find me on Instagram, I'm Mountain Song Designs. I'm also Mountain Song Designs on Substack. As I said before, Etsy, MTN Song Designs, and on Ravelry, Jocelyn Peters Designs. So thank you so much for joining me. Sláinte and happy knitting.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads.